Hello and welcome, Rangers. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
And we're back! And we're oozing with... I don't know. But anyways, the ooze is back.
Excellent.
Yeah. And excellent is what this video is all about. Yeah, because it's a very excellent scene. I can't... We gotta stop with the puns. Or at least I gotta stop with mine.
Yeah, it cracks us up.
Yeah, it does. But it's time, if you haven't guessed, for shot analysis. One of our most beloved playlists that we haven't touched in a year. I'm sorry. No, we genuinely owe our audience an apology for that one. And we will be continuing with at least, let's hope, maybe a bi-monthly shot for shot from now on.
Yeah.
You guys are so patient. We do owe you, Rangers, more than that. Anyways, last time we left off, the Rangers were doing their rollerblading through the city, and thus we were getting a great set of views of the city. Like, we were able to see what it looked like, the structure, the architecture. So they're doing a lot of world building, but they're also showing us beautiful cinematography throughout this shot. Now, what they do to introduce the villain is a really awesome camera trick, where our Rangers decide to take a shortcut at Tommy's suggestion through a construction site. So they're rollerblading through. The camera's kind of panning back and following them, but then it's shifting to the right where, there's the construction workers who are currently hard at work, and where the duo of mayhem, I guess we should call them, are dropping in. Bulk and Skull have drifted way off the mark, having jumped out hours after they were supposed to because they were afraid, and they finally land in the construction site to the great irritation of the construction workers, and they pretend to be city maintenance with, they represent they're asking if you have a permit to build this place. And you have the construction workers just utterly annoyed and wanting to get rid of the two. But the thing is, the main guy currently being trolled by these two, I don't know what else to describe it as, is called over, and he just pretty much, he all but implies to them, you better be gone when I come back. Which I don't blame him. I love Bulk and Skull. They're hilarious.
But they can drill on that nerve.
To those around them. Oh, but come on. They're charming in this movie. They're hilarious.
Oh, yeah. They help save the day.
Not to mention, I just like the, from both of them. That they do, And it's like, okay, I'm sorry, but this is Bulk and Skull at the funniest. Like, this movie knew how to use them. This movie did a great job with these two, and I just love the jokes. Anyways, we then get something that's a bit more of a dramatic scene than the comedy duo of Angel Grove. In it, we get one of the most iconic scenes, I would argue, in superhero fiction and in Power Rangers. This scene is so iconic, Marvel would steal it for Apocalypse. And, they just stole Ivan Ooze for Apocalypse years later for their X-Men series, their failed one from the 2010s. After third class, or in third rate, sorry, I could say all the comments I want about that series. I hate that X-Men series. But Power Rangers did it better originally. And the thing is about this egg, what's interesting is there is a creepy Halloween-esque, horror-esque element to it. It's a protruding claw almost digging into an egg, seemingly guarding it. I don't know how much more horror it can get. But what's more is that there's a sense of foreboding about it. And they do a good job having the music kind of lead up to it, and the guy just kind of inching towards it, just curious to touch it and see what it is. But he gets blasted like 10 meters away, and you've got everyone around him going, John, you okay? while he's just staring upwards, still smoking from the electricity. Apparently, I think in a coma. So, obviously this thing is dangerous. And there are self-defense mechanisms around it. So, when the original Rangers from 6,000 years ago created this thing, they didn't just... they didn't use a regular set of keys. They set it up so that it would defend itself and keep Ooze contained within and everybody from cracking it open. But we also got to bear in mind, it's hidden. So they defeated the Defomorphicans and Ooze, but we got to bear in mind they actually tricked Ooze and tore apart his instruments of destruction. Probably with Zordon helping strategize and mastermind it. Well, that is what happened, because that's what's explained to us. But these Rangers must have been quite skilled and quite clever to trick Ooze into that egg. And I suspect most of them probably didn't survive the process and the battle. But that ultimately this is the single most important artifact in the universe. Well, the most important artifact of evil in some ways, as what it holds is essentially the devil. But what it's meant to do is contain him. The trouble is these construction workers foolishly dug it up without knowing
what it was.
Yeah, because they thought, oh, there's a cover for a sewer crate. Okay, let's remove the sewer crate. Doesn't look like anything we've seen. Let's remove it and check it out. But the thing is, the sewer crate looks demonic. I'm going to make a weird argument. In the pre-modern times, how would people have reacted to that? Looks demonic. I'm not touching that. But in modern times, we're disconnected from our roots and our traditions. So people would look at this and go, let's open it. Not listening to the little voice of instinct in their brain going, don't touch it. So this is really modern man kind of stumbling upon evil and opening it up and welcoming it into the world, stupidly not thinking about how wicked it looks. And to an extent, one could even argue touching this thing when it radiates such evil is not wise. So John, for all that we might pity him, is a bit foolish.
And in a way, I get it that you have to understand what's underneath a building in order to be able to build a building for...
Well, you got to know what's under the surface.
Exactly.
Yeah. You said under a building. There's no building already.
Yeah. I'm talking about...
Underground, like the foundations. I know.
But in a way, Bulk and Skull were inadvertently right. If the building was a bit in another location...
Was built in another location, you mean?
Yeah. They wouldn't have dug up Ivan Ooze.
But on the other hand, maybe it was their destiny. Maybe they're destined to find it. Just as our Rangers are destined to defeat Ooze. But on the other hand, I'm not advocating for predetermination. I'm just arguing that there's something more at hand here than what most people might realize. Ooze was going to be discovered eventually. And I know not everyone will agree with me, but better this team than any other. This is the best team of Power Rangers there will ever be. If we were talking about, let's say, the team in Turbo, oh, they would have been butchered. Tommy was a great leader, but that team was so ill-equipped. You only really had Tommy and really, well, Adam. They're the only two Rangers, and they're carrying the entire team, and they're struggling, and they burn out. You have, arguably, the second team in Turbo is pretty good. I would argue it was kind of more balanced than the first. But they were so ill-equipped in some ways, and they would not be equipped to handle Ooze. I would argue even Lost Galaxies are not equipped to handle Ooze. Lightspeed Rescue is not equipped for this. Gosh, no. No other team is equipped for this. Not even the Operation Forever Red team would be equipped for this. This is the perfect team to handle it. So Ooze was uncovered at the perfect time in the timeline, arguably. And the other factor is that Ooze, there's also something almost mystical about him. He represents the most ancient sword of evil. he does not, like, for all that he was kind of conscious on some level of the world around him and outside his egg, he represents some sort of ancient evil beyond men's ken. He is beyond our ken. We cannot understand him. We cannot understand how he was created, how he was birthed, how he just came to be and came to start destroying everything. What is his place in the morphing grid? Obviously, he probably surpasses it in some ways, or exists outside of it as a negative, nihilistic element. In a way, because he overpowers Lord Zed, and Lord Zed is the dark shadow within the morphing grid. He represents the darkness that it holds, just as Zordon is the light. So Zed is really the devil, and Zordon is, in a way, God. But what is Ooze? Some sort of upper devil, or lower devil, or whatever. But what's more is, he's almost, I would argue, a cosmic horror villain. He's more Sagosh, I think it is. Basically Cthulhu's grandfather, who in the Cthulhu mythos, if he ever awakens, existence winks out. Which is really, I don't really find that very interesting, but in some ways Ooze is like that. If he wakes up, he can end all of existence. And that's his mission. In a way, he is a cosmic Lovecraftian villain and monster. So we have here the perfect Lovecraft monster who meets the Power Rangers. And in a way, it's very fitting because Lord Zed is an alien demon, but he's not he is a cosmic horror monster, but he's arguably got more in common with Satan and Cthulhu, while, I think it's Yogg that Ooze has in common with. He's the granddaddy of evil. He is an alien devil beyond even Zed's understanding. Zed cannot understand this monster. It's a bit like if we awaken Genghis Khan today. Could we possibly understand the ramifications of what that would do in our modern period? How far would Genghis Khan go and make it? Obviously, he'd probably succeed far more than any current world leader could, and would probably affect more damage than any of them. Can you imagine him with modern technology? We don't understand him. We don't know. Well, those of us who are historians who delve deep enough, we do understand him. But most people wouldn't. They couldn't possibly understand him. What if we awakened Alexander III from Macedonian history? Could we possibly understand what would be his motivation? Well, we know he loved conquest. How far would he go? What would he do? Most people don't know. So that's what Ooze is. He's some sort of ancient monster no man can understand. And where Zed wants to conquer the universe and rule over its ashes, Ooze just wants to destroy it all, wink it out of existence, and that's it. No depravity is too dark or evil for him. No low is too low for him. He has no ethics, he has no honor, and he has no dignity. And he doesn't care. He's the most depraved sort of evil. If Zed represents some sort of sin of wrath or pride, Ooze in a way is gluttony, utterly devouring the universe around him until he's satisfied. But he's never satisfied. Thoughts?
Well, you worded it perfectly. He's
Evil incarnate.
Yeah, there's no redeeming him. You have Zed, that's pure evil, nothing redeeming about him. And yet, you could get more evil than him.
Which is a shocking notion. So if you enjoyed this video, Rangers, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button. And if you want to, you can check out our book, Crown of Blood, which is a fantasy novel where, men fight for and struggle for a crown. Or you could check out our Substack where we write tons of articles. And remember, Rangers, may the power protect you.